I don't know if you've ever heard the song Waiting Room by Phoebe Bridges, but the bridge, I think it's the bridge, it just goes on forever and it says, no, it's for the better, no, it's for the better. No, it's for the better. No, it's for the better. And I think my no, it's for the better, what I want to talk about today, is the saying like, it too shall pass. Like time moves, everything passes eventually. And I've been going through my journal that I used to write in a lot, and there's a part I got to which really resonates with me and I think can really like be useful in this time. I feel like that's, yeah, it's really good. Not to like say that about myself, but anyway, I'm just gonna read it out. Also, I suck at reading and I might be monotonous, but I'll try and make it more lively. I've been reading begins. I've been sitting here thinking about how everything shall pass, and I remember that quote that says, "This too will pass," because surely everything in life shall pass eventually. It isn't a recent discovery for me, but each time I am reminded of it, it feels so freeing but also saddening. I remember with my previous au pair family, Adrian and Juanse, I felt like that time would never pass. It left such an impact on my life at that time. I remember thinking I would not know what to do with my life when this time ended. I imagined myself keeping in constant contact with them and visiting them at some point. I told them that their life experience would change my life forever. And it did make a difference. It has probably still and will always have an impact on me to this day. And by that I mean I probably learned something from them that will always be with me. But I'm not as attached or as affected as I expected to be. Not even 4 months down the line, and I can barely even remember what Nicole looks like, the kid I babysitted, for context. I'm not trying to say I don't remember anything. If I close my eyes right now, I can picture the house, the location, I can picture the face Juanse would make when he was telling a joke, or the voice Adrian uses when she is explaining herself or something she's passionate about. So as I said, I'm not saying I've forgotten my experience because I shall remember a lot of it when I recall those times to memory. I'm just saying that it doesn't affect me as much as I expected it to. Something a few months ago while I was living in the moment felt like I would never get over. But I am over it. It has passed. Time moves and time shall continue moving. And you should move with it too. Let things pass. Do not allow yourself to be stuck in a place forever. However, having said that, I admit there have been times I forced myself to be stuck in a place and emotion, made myself relive an experience over and over again because I did not like change. But it would always leave me saddened, more so because it made me feel that everyone else was continuing in their life, moving past the events, the emotions, while I was stuck behind, reliving it. And I must admit, it was self-destruction, a self-destruction habit that I am trying to get over, and I have, because it is true. People are moving on, continuing their life. Time is moving, life is passing by. Don't be so stuck up in a period of time or emotion that you let life pass you by. Move with it, grow with it. It's something I wrote like last year, September, October, I don't know. But it's something I feel like is very useful because I feel a lot of times in our life, maybe it's advice someone needs, but also sometimes I have to remind myself of this. But everything shall pass. And whether it's good or bad experiences, like I also remember this was a really good experience for me. And in the moment I felt I could never get over this. Like this is in my heart forever. It's something like when I was in that moment, I was like, wow, this is going to be my life. Like if I move past from this, when this ends, when I was a parent, I was like, when this ends, there'll be nothing I can ever feel to compare to it. And I was so sad that it had ended. But a few months later, I didn't even remember it. Like I'd moved on with my life and I was thriving. I was doing other things. I was enjoying life in other ways. So even if I wanted to stay in that path, it passed. And I didn't even really think about it passing. It just kind of passed that way. Like I wasn't even forcing myself to get rid of it. It just slowly just like left me and I moved on to different things. And the same, there was this heartbreak I went through and I was like, ish, I'll never get over this. Like I don't think I could love again. And the same thing, a few months later, I didn't even care. Like I couldn't even remember it anymore. Like I couldn't even remember why I was heartbroken. Like if I was trying to explain to someone else, I couldn't even remember the story. And I feel like it's an encouraging thing that everything shall pass, whether good and bad. And like in bad situations, it's like, yeah, you want it to pass, you want it to end. And at some time, it will end. At some time, it will pass. But in like good situations, it might be saddening because you know it will pass. But there's that advice that no, live it, enjoy it while you can because it shall pass. So it makes everything sweeter because you know it's going to end at some point. And once you realize it's going to end at some point, it gives you a deeper appreciation for what you're going through. for what you're going through. Yeah. So I want to encourage you, like, time will move, time will pass. Do not be stuck to your past. And I'm not saying don't ever think about your past, forget about your past always. Like, never think about your past. I feel like you can learn from your past and there are good things to remember from your past, but I feel like you shouldn't be stuck in the past. Like, you have to, at some point, I was saying about a self-destructive habit I had, like, at some point you have to allow it to have, like, to pass. And in this case, like, self-destructive things, like reliving bad events, I would keep reliving bad events, like, that has passed. I should allow it to pass, allow things to pass, let them pass. But continuing, like, forcing yourself to relive, like, a heartbreak, or to relive, like, this bad event or this good event, you never get over it. Like, you never, like, in a bad event, like, I would never allow myself to heal because I'm just continuously reliving it. But then in a good moment, like, you're never going to find anything as good because you're like, no, that's the best thing that ever happened to me. Like, it kind of constricts you. I think it constricts you, like, not moving on from things really constricts you as a person. You don't really have the time to grow, and you don't have the time, like, yeah, you don't really open your box. Like, you haven't opened your mind to new expectations. You're just constricted, I feel. So that's my advice, is everything shall pass. Like, this too shall pass. Life passes by, time is passing by. Don't let time pass you by. Let it come, let it go. If you're going through a hard time, remember, it shall end. If you're going through a good time, remember, it shall also end, and it will be bittersweet. So enjoy it while you can, and if it's a bad part, learn from it while you can, because it will end. And at least take something positive from it. Like, have something from it, learn something from it. And I wanted to say, like, I'm not saying that every time you experience something bad in your life or something good, you're just thinking, oh, it's over, it's over, it's over. Like, I'm not saying you should just live with that mindset that, oh, it's over, it's over, it's over. I saw this video that said, like, do not wish your life away. So while it shall pass, do not wish it will be passing right now. Like, live in it while it's happening, and when it passes, it will pass. Everything will pass in time. But do not wish your life away. Like, people say that, do not wish your life away. So do not be so focused, oh, it will pass, it will pass, it will pass, that you're not even present, or you're not getting the best out of it. So be there while it's happening. Know that it will pass away. Enjoy whatever event you're going through at the moment. If it's bad, if it's good, like, learn something from it. It will pass. And even if it will pass, as I've said, don't wish your life away. Don't just wait for it to end. Don't wait for it to end. Don't wish your life away. Try find something good in this moment, even if it will pass. Bye. Yeah.